Anik Joseph has been following the story and joins us now live in front of City Hall. Anik?
Yeah, good evening, Hannah. It's been nearly 2 weeks since the town of Navassa has been without a finance officer. And if you are suspected of drinking and driving, then you're going to go into one of these. It's called a Batmobile unit. The crowd in Southport accepting that call. And in Wilmington, a crowd gathered together. She paved the way for tennis players like the Williams sisters. And then before they know it, the tide comes in, and that water is now up to their neck. This helicopter is used to set backfires, drop water buckets. Ziva is not an overnight sensation. It took her about 3 years to learn how to surf. That's when they found out what happened at this home behind me. A specially designed mannequin was placed somewhere on the bottom of Lake Waccamaw, designed to help first responders. Gusty winds, high temperatures, and low relative humidity has triggered a red flag warning for extreme fire weather for the August complex fire through tomorrow. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anik Joseph. After nearly 7 months, children and adults will finally have full use of play areas in local parks. Outdoor playgrounds now authorized to reopen. I've seen moose before and they are huge. Do you think it's going to be covered under his insurance though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's a good question.
For years, Sean Edwards worked hard to accomplish his dream.
This day would be the day that he would be walking across the stage to get his bachelor's degree in communication.
Edwards' father says his son was a proud Seahawk. Then an unexpected diagnosis.
In March of this year, we found out that he had a germ cell tumor in his chest.
Despite his obstacles, Edwards stayed determined to reach his goal, receiving chemotherapy, trying to keep up his energy to finish what he started, with his family by his side, cheering him on.
He finished his studies. He continued to work hard on his studies. He did one of his final assignments in a hospital bed while I sat next to him.
Meeting all requirements to obtain his undergraduate degree from UNCW.
He still continued to fight, but on September 7th of this year, he passed away. But his fight is what I continue to fight for.
Sean Edwards Sr. finishing what his son started.
Walking in honor and memory of his late son, Sean Antonio Edwards Jr., who completed his Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies while fighting a battle with cancer.
Accepting his degree along his classmates.
He was full of joy, laughter, love life, just embrace being able to be a part of something bigger than himself.
His family embracing and cherishing the 22 years they had with him.
I feel like this is the final stamp of approval on him. Part of his legacy, his life, is that he persevered. He did not give up.
A walk to remember, a son who taught as much as he learned. In Wilmington, a last farewell and celebration for the leader of one of the oldest and most adored historic theaters in the country. Actor Walter Kuntz was there for Tony Rivenbark's first season at Thalian Hall.
In 1978, I came here and did Pippin with Tony.
Tony Rivenbark, a force to be reckoned with.
Tony has been the eye of the hurricane for Thalian Hall.
The late executive director conducting his final event with a full choreography.
A person who has helped to shape our community over the past 5 decades lays down his wit and talent and returns to his maker.
All 3 levels of the auditorium open to the public, a chance to see Rivenbark on stage for the last time.
Came to this theater as an actor when I was in college at the age of 18.
And he never left. His work projected on the screen, his passion for theater undeniable. And in Rivenbark style, a procession fit for royalty. Now those who knew Tony Rivenbark knew his big personality. His motto, go big or go home. Just like this New Orleans style parade. Laissez les bon temps rouler. A traditional New Orleans style second line led the crowd up 3rd Street to the Wilson Center for the reception. The roving party included a brass band from New Orleans, the New Hanover Sheriff's Office, Honor Guard, and horse-drawn hearse. Rivenbark's dear friend Shane Fernando overwhelmed by Saturday's event.
I'm heartbroken, but I feel so uplifted, and I had one of the most incredible directors who directed this, and I hope he's pleased.
Pleased his legacy will continue.
Someone said to me one time, when is it going to be finished? And
In Wilmington,
I said never.
Anik Joseph,
It'll never be finished as long as it continues to be used as a live theater.
Lieutenant Jeremy Hooks and Captain Kyle McDaniel have worked together at the Whitefield Fire Department for the past 4 years. They often get dinner together.
We're just going to get something to eat. We had no idea where we were going to go.
We actually jumped in the truck and didn't know where we were going.
Yeah, we just headed towards the
And we do that a lot.
The firefighters went to Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue in Whiteville. That's also where Ronald and Daphne Gross stopped to eat as they drove home to Winston-Salem after vacationing in Oak Island.
Just a couple of minutes, we had ordered our food, sat down, and we had just started eating, and 2 firemen walked in.
Got our food, sat down, and all of a sudden we hear this lady saying, "Hey, my husband's choking."
Surveillance video caught what happened next. Hooks and McDaniel's rescue response kicked in.
Started doing the Heimlich.
Yep. And
I think I gave him like 4 or 5.
And he got the obstruction up out of his airway.
Ronald says the firefighters saved his life.
And I knew that I was in trouble. And I knew if somebody didn't help me that it was going to be bad. Thankfully, the firemen were there.
First responders suggest you carry something like this, especially if you have a baby. And if you find yourself choking and you're by yourself, you can use the back of a chair, but make sure you call 911.
But take the chair and try to get it right below your ribs and thrust yourself down onto that chair until you get the object removed.
The Grosses are thankful to the staff at Smithfield's and to the firefighters.
So many different things happened for that one moment in time to take place.
Just had to be at the right place at the right time.
And as Ronald put it, was just short of a miracle. In Whiteville, Anik Joseph, WWAY News.